Please subscribe and like the video before continuing. The Young and the Restless spoilers. Matt kidnaps Dominic, uses Victor's grandson for revenge. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that Abby Newman, Melissa Ordway, and Devin Winters, Bryton James, could face their worst nightmare when Matt Clark, Roger Howarth, decides to get Victor Newman's, Eric Braden, attention by kidnapping his grandson, Dominic Newman. Winters chancellors, Rain and River Ware. Could this be part of Abby and Devin's marriage issues? Want more of The Young and the Restless? Get updates on the latest news about The Young and the Restless, straight to your inbox. We use your personal data for interest-based advertising, as outlined in our privacy notice. What is this? Someone close to Devin Winters ends up in danger. James revealed a while ago that someone in his family will end up in danger. Obviously, it seems like Victor may be involved since it is supposed to cause issues in his marriage. If Dominic is abducted, it could certainly cause major problems. General Hospital early week spoilers December 8th to 12th, Jason's next mission and Sonny's Sidwell answer. Devin is likely to blame Victor for the child's abduction, causing huge problems with Abby. If her father responsible for this, Devin may never forgive him. Abby may misunderstand and ultimately figure out that Victor had been the one to set of Matt when he used the AI program on his company. What is this? After all, Victor used to this find Noah Newman, Lucas Adams, who had already escaped from Matt and was on his way out of town. All Victor did was manage to distract him. Now Matt is out to get Victor no matter what it takes. Abby Winters is the least protected child. Honestly, Abby is the equivalent of the lost Newman child. Abby is never involved in the family dramas and would be the least expected person to be hurt by anyone who was after Victor. This could make it very easy for Matt to get his hands on Dominic and whisk him out of the house before anyone was none the wiser. Any of Victor's relatives would be a target no matter what, but Dominic would be the least considered relative to be targeted. Victor is far too busy protecting Noah right now and isn't the least bit worried about the lesser-known family members. Has Victor made his grandson the perfect target for Matt? Please subscribe and like the video before continuing. Dominic Newman Winters chancellor is rarely mentioned. Dominic is hardly ever mentioned unless it is around a holiday or something. However, his recital came up in conversation with his aunt. What is this? Could Matt sneak into the recital and make off with him before anyone knows about it? Perhaps their first clue is Dominic missing his call onto the stage for his performance. Just imagine Victor receiving a text with Dominic's photo or a message about his kidnapping. Will the family manage to save Dominic from Matt before he decided to hurt him? Nothing can be overlooked when it comes to Matt and his revenge on Victor. Will Dominic be Matt's way of getting his hands on Noah once again? Come here for all things YNR, check back often for The Young and the Restless news, spoilers, and updates. Victor Newman's worst nightmare explodes into reality when Matt crosses a line that can never be erased, kidnapping baby Dominic and turning Victor's own flesh and blood into the most vicious weapon of revenge Genoa City has ever seen. This isn't just another Newman power play gone wrong or a business feud that spiraled out of control. This is deeply personal, terrifying, and designed to rip Victor apart at his core. Matt knows exactly where to strike, and by taking Dominic, he proves he's no longer playing chess with Victor's empire, he's targeting his heart, his legacy, and the future of the Newman name itself. The shockwaves hit instantly. When Dominic vanishes, panic spreads like wildfire through the Newman family. Victor feels it before anyone even speaks the words. That primal dread, the kind that freezes your blood, tells him something is terribly wrong. Security footage, frantic calls, lockdown estates, nothing prepares Victor for the realization that this was planned, precise, and cruel. Matt didn't act impulsively. He orchestrated this kidnapping with one goal in mind, to force Victor to feel helpless. For a man who has built his life on control, power, and intimidation, helplessness is the ultimate punishment. Matt's motive isn't just revenge, it's domination. He wants Victor to beg, to crack, to finally admit defeat. By taking Dominic, Matt sends a chilling message: no amount of money, muscle, or influence can protect Victor from losing what matters most. Every second Dominic is gone is a reminder that Victor's enemies are no longer afraid of him. Matt wants Victor watching the clock, imagining the worst, knowing that one wrong move could cost his grandson everything. Behind the scenes, Matt is disturbingly calm. He believes he's justified, that Victor deserves this. Please subscribe and like the video before continuing. Pain after years of manipulation, threats, and destruction. In Matt's mind, this isn't a crime, it's balance. He convinces himself that he's exposing Victor for what he really is, forcing the great Victor Newman to face consequences that money can't erase. But as the hours pass, even Matt begins to realize the monster he's becoming. Still, he pushes forward, driven by rage and obsession, convinced that stopping now would make everything he's done meaningless. Victor, meanwhile, transforms. The ruthless businessman becomes something far more dangerous, a grandfather with nothing left to lose. He mobilizes every resource at his disposal, calling in favors, issuing silent threats, and pulling strings that haven't been touched in years. The city feels it. Allies grow uneasy, enemies go quiet, and everyone knows Victor Newman is in hunt mode. This isn't about profits or power anymore. This is about blood. And Victor will burn the world down if that's what it takes to bring Dominic home. The emotional toll on the family is devastating. Parents are shattered, blaming themselves, replaying every moment that led up to Dominic's disappearance. Guilt eats them alive. How could they let this happen? Who can they trust? Every knock at the door sends hearts racing. Every phone call could be the one that changes everything, or destroys what little hope they have left. The family fractures under pressure, tempers flare, and secrets begin to surface as desperation takes hold. Matt uses this chaos to his advantage. He leaks just enough information to keep Victor off balance, taunting him without revealing Dominic's location. Each message is a psychological attack, designed to humiliate Victor and remind him who's in control. Matt wants Victor to suffer, to feel the same fear and powerlessness he once felt. And with every passing hour, the danger escalates. The longer Dominic is gone, the higher the risk that something irreversible will happen. As Victor closes in, the stakes skyrocket. Law enforcement becomes involved, but Victor doesn't trust them to move fast enough. He takes matters into his own hands, stepping into morally dark territory that even he knows could destroy him legally and personally. Lines blur. Threats turn real. Deals are made in shadows. Victor is willing to sacrifice everything, his freedom, his empire, even his reputation, if it means saving his grandson. The confrontation between Victor and Matt looms, and when it finally comes, it's explosive. Years of hatred, resentment, and unfinished business collide in a moment that could end lives and change the Newman family forever. Matt realizes too late that kidnapping Dominic didn't make him powerful, it made him a target. Victor isn't just fighting for his grandson, he's fighting for redemption, for his family's survival, and for the right to protect what he loves most. This storyline reshapes the young and the restless in a profound way. Trust is shattered, alliances are rewritten, and the consequences of Matt's actions will echo for years to come. Even if Dominic is rescued, nothing will ever be the same. The Newman family will carry these scars forever, and Victor Newman will emerge changed, harder, more dangerous, and more determined than ever to ensure that no one dares threaten his family again. Matt may have. Please subscribe and like the video before continuing. Believed he could destroy the Newman empire, but what he's really done is awaken a force far more terrifying than anything he imagined. Unthinkable doesn't even begin to describe the horror that grips Genoa City when Matt makes his most twisted move yet, snatching baby Dominic and transforming Victor Newman's innocent grandson into the centerpiece of a brutal revenge plot. This isn't just a crime, and it isn't just another shocking twist in an already volatile war. This is a calculated emotional assault designed to shatter Victor Newman from the inside out, using the one thing even he cannot shield himself from, his family. Matt knows exactly what he's doing, and by targeting Dominic, he proves there are no limits left to his obsession. The nightmare begins quietly. One moment, Dominic is safe, surrounded by love and protection, and the next he's gone. Panic spreads instantly, and the air in Genoa City shifts. Parents collapse under the weight of fear, their minds racing with worst-case scenarios they can't escape. Phones light up, doors slam, and security systems are scrutinized again and again, but nothing undoes the truth. Dominic has been taken, and someone wanted this to happen. Victor feels the blow with brutal clarity. This isn't a business attack he can counter with strategy or leverage. This is personal, intimate, and cruel. Matt didn't just steal a child, he stole Victor's sense of control. Every instinct in Victor screams to act, but Matt has already set the rules of this twisted game. By choosing Dominic, Matt sends a message that lands like a punch to the chest: your power means nothing when I have your blood in my hands. Behind the scenes, Matt is disturbingly methodical. He tells himself this is justice, that Victor has escaped accountability for too long. Every manipulation, every threat, every life Victor has bulldozed in his rise to power becomes fuel for Matt's resolve. Kidnapping Dominic isn't impulsive, it's symbolic. Matt wants Victor to feel exposed, terrified, and powerless, the way Matt once felt under Victor's shadow. And as long as Dominic is missing, Matt believes he holds absolute control. The Newman family fractures under pressure. Fear mutates into blame, and blame ignites old wounds. Accusations fly as emotions spiral, and trust erodes by the hour. Each family member processes the crisis differently, some lash out, some withdraw, and some crumble entirely. The pain is raw, unfiltered, and impossible to hide. Dominic's absence becomes a deafening silence that fills every room, a reminder of what's been stolen and what could still be lost. Matt exploits that fear mercilessly. He sends cryptic messages, just enough to confirm Dominic is alive but never enough to reveal where he's being held. Each contact is designed to torment Victor, forcing him to imagine the unthinkable. Time becomes the enemy. Every passing minute tightens the noose, and the stakes rise with it. Matt isn't just playing for revenge anymore, he's addicted to the power he wields. Victor, pushed to the brink, becomes relentless. He calls in debts that were buried years ago, unleashing a network of allies and enforcers who know better than to fail him. The city feels the pressure as Victor's presence grows darker, more dangerous. This isn't the Victor who negotiates from a boardroom. This is the Victor who operates in shadows, who understands fear as a weapon and isn't afraid to use it. Saving Dominic becomes his only priority, even if it costs him everything else. Law enforcement is sidelined as Victor takes control, convinced that rules and procedures will only slow him down. He crosses lines he once swore he never would, bargaining with criminals, issuing threats that carry real consequences, and risking exposure that could destroy him legally and personally. But none of that matters. Not when his grandson's life hangs in the balance. As the hunt intensifies, Matt's confidence begins to crack. What started as calculated revenge spirals into paranoia. He realizes that by taking Dominic, he has invited a level of wrath he may not survive. Victor isn't just coming for his leverage, he's coming for him. Every shadow feels closer, every sound sharper. The power Matt once relished now feels like a ticking bomb. The inevitable confrontation looms, and when it arrives, it's raw and explosive. Years of resentment collide in a moment that could end in tragedy. Matt is forced to face the reality of what he's done, while Victor stands at the edge of losing everything that defines him. Dominic's fate hangs in the balance, and the outcome will reshape lives across Genoa City. This storyline changes the young and the restless forever. Even if Dominic is rescued, the damage is irreversible. Innocence is lost, trust is shattered, and the Newman family will never be the same. Victor Newman emerges altered by the ordeal, harder and more dangerous, driven by a renewed vow to protect his family at all costs. Matt believed he could use Dominic as a weapon to destroy Victor, but in doing so, he unleashed a force that will haunt him long after this nightmare ends. Crossed every line is an understatement when Matt makes the most unforgivable move of his life, abducting baby Dominic in a cold, calculated plot designed to make Victor Newman suffer in ways no enemy ever has before. This isn't about power plays or corporate warfare anymore. This is vengeance stripped bare, aimed directly at Victor's heart, using the one person who should have been untouchable. By taking Dominic, Matt declares war on the Newman family itself, proving that nothing is sacred and no rule still applies. The terror unfolds without warning. One moment Dominic is safe, cocooned in love and routine, and the next he's gone, leaving behind a silence so loud it shatters everyone who hears the truth. Panic rips through the household as alarms are raised, phones ring endlessly, and desperate searches begin. Every second that passes without Dominic feels heavier than the last, and the fear that creeps in is unbearable. This isn't just a missing child. This is a nightmare engineered to destroy lives. Victor senses the shift immediately. Years of instinct tell him this wasn't random, and when Matt's name surfaces, the realization hits with brutal force. This is revenge, pure and simple. Matt didn't just want Victor's attention. He wanted his pain. By targeting Dominic, Matt ensures Victor will never forget this moment, no matter how it ends. It's a message written in terror: you took everything from me, now I'm taking what matters most to you. For Matt, this act feels justified. In his mind, Victor has walked away from too many sins without consequence. Every manipulation, every threat, every life ruined in Victor's relentless climb fuels Matt's rage. Kidnapping Dominic isn't an act of madness to him, it's a reckoning. He convinces himself that Victor deserves to feel powerless, to finally experience the fear he's inflicted on others for decades. But as the hours stretch on, even Matt can't fully silence the creeping realization that he's become something monstrous. The Newman family buckles under the weight of the crisis. Grief, guilt, and anger collide as loved ones struggle to cope. Some blame themselves, replaying every decision, every moment of trust that might have allowed this to happen. Others lash out, desperate to find someone to hold responsible. The unity that once defined the family fractures as stress exposes old wounds and buried resentments. Dominic's absence becomes a wound that bleeds into every conversation, every glance, every sleepless night. Matt feeds on the chaos. He delivers calculated reminders that Dominic is still in his control, keeping Victor trapped in a state of constant dread. Each message is vague, cruel, and perfectly timed to maximize fear. Matt wants Victor to feel the clock ticking, to imagine the unthinkable, to break. This isn't just about making Victor pay, it's about watching him unravel. Victor responds with a fury that shakes Genoa City. The businessman vanishes, replaced by a grandfather driven by raw instinct and relentless determination. He calls in favors long buried, mobilizes contacts who operate outside the law, and makes it clear that failure is not an option. The city feels the shift as Victor's shadow looms larger, darker, and far more dangerous than before. He's willing to burn bridges, sacrifice his empire, and risk his own freedom if that's what it takes to bring Dominic home. Law enforcement quickly becomes secondary as Victor pushes boundaries he once respected. He bargains with criminals, issues threats that carry lethal consequences, and steps into moral territory that even he knows could destroy him. But nothing matters except Dominic. Every rule, every risk, every consequence fades in the face of that single, desperate goal. As Victor closes in, Matt's sense of control begins to crack. The power he once savored turns into paranoia as he realizes the enormity of what he's done. By abducting Dominic, he hasn't just provoked Victor, he's awakened him. Every sound feels closer, every shadow more threatening. The fear he wanted Victor to feel starts to seep into his own bones. The confrontation that follows is explosive and unforgettable. Years of resentment and rage collide in a moment that could change everything. Dominic's fate hangs in the balance as Victor and Matt face the consequences of their choices. One man fights to save his family, the other to justify an unforgivable act. The outcome will leave scars that Genoa City will carry for years. This storyline forever alters the landscape of The Young and the Restless. Even if Dominic is rescued, the innocence lost can never be reclaimed. Trust is shattered, relationships are changed, and Victor Newman emerges transformed by the ordeal, harder, darker, and more determined than ever to protect his family at any cost. Matt crossed every line to make Victor pay, but in doing so, he unleashed a reckoning that may destroy him long after Dominic is safe.